Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
Boom! What is going on, guys? And thank you for tuning in. Susie and I are making our comeback into podcasting now that we're back from our travels. So this episode, we're going to discuss what we've been up to this last month in Australia and hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks for wherever you are traveling on your vacation. We hope that you enjoy this one, and if you haven't, make sure you give us a rating and a review. It helps get our message out to some new people. And with that being said, let's get to it. 3, 2, 1. What is going on, team?
Welcome back to present day podcasting.
Present day.
Well,
I just had to stop my watch. My workout has been going on for 2.5 hours.
That's what we call cheating.
Whoopsie.
Even though you called me a cheater.
Hey, this is our first time we're recording a podcast in
Our kitchen.
and also in over a month.
Yeah, it's true. We were pre-recorded, so we haven't been podcasting for the last month, even though you guys have had an episode every week.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those episodes. We had some pretty awesome guests join. We had Vanessa, we had Sasha, and we released a couple episodes ourselves. We talked about the Open, which the Open is, by the time we release this episode, 1 week away from right
really?
now. It's 10 days away. Yep.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. And then, yeah, we talked about effort, which was a important episode
I like that one a lot.
to share to the world. And, yeah, we're closing in on 100 episodes recorded in the CrossFit Max. No, I don't think this is. That would be very
anticlimactic.
If it was.
Next week's banter topic. So 101.
No, we haven't done 100 yet. I think we're on number 98. I have to do the math. But yeah, pretty cool. And
wow, very cool.
We've come back to Montreal. We were in Australia the last 26 days.
We were in Australia like 48 hours ago.
Yeah, and we came back to a massive snowstorm right now. So
probably the biggest snowstorm we've had in the last few years.
Yeah, and
like this amount of snow is crazy.
Yeah, and I think it snowed a few days ago, like 30 centimeters, and then we got like an additional 30 to 40 centimeters. So it was like
somebody this morning at the group class told me that actually Sunday we got even more snow than they got last week. So it's been like in the last week like 60 centimeters of snow, which is
wild.
Like if you think about it, in school you have like a 30 centimeter ruler. It's like 2 of those.
Huge. So let's banter topic a little bit about our vacation.
Yeah, because everybody that's why they're tuning in. They need to know.
Tuning in. They want to know, how was Australia, my love? You start. Well, first, actually,
I was gonna say.
Well, I'll say, or tell them why we're in the kitchen rather than the podcast studio.
Yes, so we are recording this episode in our kitchen because my parents are evil and abandoned us. No, my parents are still in Australia. So we went with them to get there, but they are there until the end of March. And in order to record the episode, we timed it with Thomas's nap. So he is currently napping and hopefully he stays that way for the foreseeable future. And we are recording the episode in the kitchen so we can get it done because we don't have any babysitters until March 28th. So
usually Papa Miller will watch Tommy while we do the podcast, but
yeah. He's just like not small and like portable like he used to be. So there's just no way we could do a podcast with him awake.
No chance.
In the background.
No chance.
Unless everyone wants to sing The Purple Monkey and the Bubblegum Tree along with him.
So how was vacation?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, we did like make 2 jokes in the last month about how Thomas was an angel on all the flights. And he actually was. So
he was pretty awesome.
He was definitely the MVP of the plane rides.
Yeah.
He crushed
24 hours of traveling, and he only had maybe a few little cries. And
little cries, but like no meltdowns. Yeah. Like he didn't lose it ever.
Nope. Yeah. Mom did a good job feeding him and entertaining him.
Yeah.
Dad did a good job just sitting there watching you
sleeping
entertain him.
And no, I'm just kidding. No. We all did our part, but I definitely did a lot of baby snuggles, which was delicious and excruciatingly painful because the seats are so small.
Yeah. And the bassinet that we got with like we got the special seating, well, not special seating. We got the seating that is in the front row so you can attach a bassinet.
I think it's called
to
preferred seating,
preferred
because it has leg room.
Yeah. And yeah, Tommy did not like that bassinet for the reason that it looks like what do you call those jackets?
Torture device,
those
straight jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's savage. Like, I think it's really designed for like 3-month-old babies, but an 8-month-old baby is just no.
Yeah, it was a weird bassinet. I feel like they could definitely improve on that bassinet, even with safety things and everything. It wasn't comfortable for him. And anyway, so he's a koala and he loved to sleep on mama. So he literally slept in your arms.
Sleeping on me.
Yeah.
Which means that I didn't do much sleeping.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But yeah, he was a champ on the plane. And then, so we landed in Sydney and we stayed a couple days in the Sydney area.
Yeah, we did, which was really fun. We got to go celebrate Australia Day.
Yeah. So Mama and Papa Miller stayed back and watched Tommy on January 26th. That was an Aussie Day.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we went to literally downtown Sydney and we got to spend a couple hours over there, which was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool and touristy, which is exactly what we wanted because we were visiting.
And it was a hot day. We got, the ferry, what was it called?
The Ferry-thon.
The Ferry-thon.
There's like a race of the ferries. But,
yeah.
I mean, they were like different colors. Yeah. And we went for Team Pink.
Yeah, there was Team Red, Blue,
Orange,
Pink, and Orange.
Pink. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Team Pink won, right?
We're like, obviously, we're going to go for Team Pink. And yeah, we stayed there for a while. They had, like, we're next to the harbor. And we went out. We were just watching and waiting, and it was taking a long time, I guess, to get ferries like ready. And there's a whole bunch of people on, and it's a big spectacle, you know. So we found a bar right next to the harbor, which pretty much was on the side. So we just hopped in there, grabbed a drink. And,
the most expensive cocktail of my entire life, but whatever. We were on vacation. It's fine.
Yep. And then we just sat there. We watched the Ferry-thon, but it was cool.
It was fun.
I got to hear the Aussie anthem. They did the Aussie anthem it was the first time I got to hear it. And it was cool. Susie was singing along. I didn't know you knew the anthem.
Yo, those are my people.
Those are people. So Susie was singing along, and they had some cool like airplanes go over the harbor, which
honestly,
was
it was a vibe. It was so cool. I could see how if you were a local, you'd be like, eye roll, like you went and did that.
Yeah. Well, is Sydney the... No,
what's the
Canberra. Canberra's the capital, but I mean
Sydney's iconic.
A major city in Australia. It would almost be like going to Toronto for Canada Day. Like it's going to be a pretty epic time.
Yeah, so it was a big event.
I wouldn't say Montreal because Montreal and the French and everything. It's pretty cool when you go downtown Montreal, but
Montrealers don't love Canada the way the Toronto people do.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to do that. Yep. That was really fun. And then we made our way up to Fingal Bay, where we were staying at a nice little beach town. And
it's just the best.
That's where we stayed for 3 weeks. Wonderful weather. And we did have a few rainy days.
A couple, but we never really had we never got rained on except for like the last day, basically. Otherwise, like I feel like most of the rain would happen overnight when we were asleep.
There was the first couple of days we got to Fingal. There was a couple of big storms that happened. I don't know if you remember. There was thunderstorm,
right? But I'm saying but that day we had like gone for a walk and stuff, and it was fine.
We did our outdoor activities.
We had gotten our outdoor time before the rain, so I don't think we really got rained on except for the last Saturday. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was some rain, but that's very typical. Like it's like Australia gets a lot of rain per year, but not on a lot of days. So when it rains, it pours. Like it'll rain like 20 millimeters, but then like in an hour.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a bit tropically kind of like that.
Yeah. And I mean, for the most part, we got beautiful weather. It was average 25 to 30 degrees every single day, mostly sunny every single day.
Yeah, it was amazing. I feel like what I loved so much about this trip was that it was we were just kind of living the Aussie lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't travel much. We kind of stayed in one place. We were very homebodied this trip. We went to cafes and restaurants. Went to the beach.
We ate some good food. We got to meet up with some friends. A lot of people wanted to meet Thomas.
We did some boogie boarding.
Oh my gosh. Brandon and my dad are just like best friends.
Shout out the BBC.
which stands for Brandon's Boogie Boarding Club.
Yep.
In case anyone's wondering.
In case you guys wanted to join it.
If anyone wants in on the BBC.
So on the first day
You're such a
we
loser.
arrived in Australia, we went to this kind of like call it Kmart. It's an American
have it in
company.
America.
Yeah, they just don't have it in Canada. But Susie really loves Kmart in
I'm
Australia.
just obsessed. You can get anything for
You
like
get there
$2.
You get anything, and it's super cheap. So
Like actual
we
cheap.
went there literally the first day we were there, and I found and your dad needed some bathing suit or shorts, I think.
No, he needed shorts.
Shorts, yeah. But anyway, so I saw these cool, just like striped bathing, like
Swim trunks.
swim trunks.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, and they were $5. I think I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, Susie, I need to get matching
Matching
ones for your
ones.
dad and I.
So Brian and my dad had matching shorts, and then obviously they had to get matching boogie boards and then go out and surf the waves, as they would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's something so fun about just like good, wholesome fun.
Yeah.
And you guys really leaned into the childlike energy of it all. And I love that.
It was so
in
fun.
other news, our child, Thomas,
hates
hates the beach.
Yeah, he hates the
the
ocean.
beach and hates the ocean. We tried 3-4 times to put him in the ocean, and like the cries like I've never heard him cry before.
Yeah,
Like
he really hated
full
it.
trauma. It wasn't like a one-off thing. Like we tried multiple times. He just really
a fan.
hated it, and it would like take me 10 minutes to
Yeah.
like get him back to
He would
baseline.
scream
Like he was dying.
Yeah.
And even the other time when we went on the beach, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to put him in the water, and we'll just like hang out on the sand. But it was kind of windy. Hated that too. Screamed his head off.
Yeah.
So not a beach baby,
Not a beach baby. Yeah.
but he is
Not part of the BBC.
not part of the BBC. God.
Yep. And then,
Yeah.
so we did we got to see some of your family friends.
Yeah, a lot of family friends got to meet Thomas, so that was very cool. I got to meet 2 of my friends had babies in the last year as well, so we got to meet them and their babies. So that was fun. That was really special for me. Yeah, it was just like all around good vibes.
We got to do the koala encounter.
Oh my God.
That was really cool.
Highlight for sure.
Yeah.
Thomas was so good too, gentle, stroking the koalas.
Yeah.
That was so
just
nice.
to give people a little background on the koalas in Australia, they're not. I mean, you don't in the wild. You can't just go and pet a koala.
No.
And I think they lost a huge population of koalas
Just from fires.
from fires and
Yeah.
stuff. So they have this really awesome place called Oakville, and it's a wildlife place, and they have koalas in there, and so they were born
In captivity.
in captivity
Right.
as a breeding program. So they're not wild koalas, and they won't ever be wild koalas unless unless something were to
they were
happen with the
explaining
population.
to us that they were like kind of like the emergency reserve population of koalas. So they're
Yeah.
bred and stay in captivity unless there's like a threat to the species, and
Yeah.
then they will be, I don't know, properly released to the wild in
Yeah.
order to like repopulate the.
So I didn't know this before, but I
Animals.
thought koalas were just like a very common animal in Australia, but it's not.
I think
super
they
common.
were at one point,
Yeah.
but they are not now. They're
Yeah.
not like the most durable animal.
Yeah.
So like they're
Well,
pretty slow.
Yeah, they're slow. They sleep a
and
lot, and
they-
they don't really like they're good at climbing.
Yeah, but
they're-
like they
don't
get hit by
jump.
cars a lot.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
don't think
they're not the
They
best.
don't jump that well either.
Well, they can jump from tree to tree. We saw that.
Yeah, but like close proximity trees.
True.
So when there was fires going on, they have to climb down the trees, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they can't just they're not like monkeys where they can just swing from tree to tree to get out of the area. So when there was massive fires, what happens is really
would just catch
sad.
fire,
they,
yeah.
they actually have to come down. So they're hanging up in a tree. The flames and the smoke is going up. They have to climb down. Most of the time, they have to climb down the trees to get out of there, and that's absolutely brutal.
We we saw 2 wild koalas on one of our walks, which was
early
very cool. That is like very rare. Like even one of my friends' husbands who we were like chilling with one day was like, I've never seen a wild koala, and like he lives in Australia. So it is pretty rare to see them in the wild these days. Also just because they like are so high up in the trees, and so even if they're there, like chances of you spotting them are low.
Yeah, they're
But we saw
camouflaged.
2 in the wild, so that was really fun.
Yep.
I think my favorite part of the trip was really just spending time as a family, like not being stressed about work because we were staying with my parents. There was like a lot less just like household burden. You know, my mom was doing most of the laundry and like most of the meal planning. And so I felt like all I had to do was just enjoy being a mom myself and like
And
really
I was a
just,
little bit more present as well.
I just felt like all I had to do was like watch Thomas and make sure his needs were met. And so it felt just so relaxing to do that, not have to worry about like house admin and work and all these other things. It was really just like, just enjoy your baby. And he's so fun right now. So it was just really good.
Yeah, I actually
I
found
love
it
this
crazy how much he grew over that month
Oh my God.
period.
He's like a different child.
Yeah.
It's
He's
crazy.
very long now also. Like he's
So
grown,
tall,
but
yeah.
also like developed mentally a lot. He's rolling around really close to crawling now.
Really close to crawling. He's sitting super well. Like you can put him in a seated position and walk away, and it's not really a big deal at all.
So yeah, so we had a wonderful, wonderful trip. Sad it's over.
It
but
flew by.
It flew by really quick, but also just happy to get back into routine.
I'm not excited about the jet lag that I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Right now we're recording this at almost 3 p.m. and it feels like I don't even know what time it is.
7 a.m., but we've been awake the whole day.
Yeah. So yeah, the jet lag is real, but you just got to try to not think about it and just try to keep going and move forward here and hopefully get Tommy into a good sleeping pattern.
It's more Thomas. Like once he's on a decent schedule, then we can, like I could grind out whatever. It's hard to make a baby grind it out, you know?
Yeah. And I'm going back to coaching tomorrow. So I took the first almost like 10 days of our trip off.
Like completely off.
Yeah, which was really nice. And then I did a lot of like admin work, programming, individual client stuff, social media stuff.
You worked a lot on email automations.
Yeah, a lot of stuff on the back end that I haven't really made the time for because getting ready for Australia, because of Thomas, because of the coaching hours I was doing before. So, yeah, I took a solid 10 days off, but I haven't really coached in a month now. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow's going to be my first day back leading the charge for coaching.
I think everyone is excited to have you back.
Yeah, it should be fun. The coaches really held down the fort while we were away. So I got to read some I got some pretty good messages from other people along the way. So shout out to Amanda, Daphne, and Vanessa. And also Justin hopped in there for a few of the Saturdays. So only heard good things. So they were a pretty awesome team. Yeah.
Love it.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how you guys can stay active on your vacation, since this kind of goes well with this banter topic.
Yeah, it seems just logical to talk about since we just got back from vacation and we stayed active.
Yeah, we could we'll talk about our own experience for the last 4 weeks, and then we're not just going to use us as the only example of what to do, because obviously not everybody goes for a full vacation of 3 to 4 weeks long. Most people do 1 to 2 weeks, and they do that a couple times throughout the year. Some people only have a chance to go for 1 week. We have clients that have been going on vacation these last few weeks. So we'll just give a bunch of examples from different people.
Some little tips and tricks.
And hopefully this will give you guys some information. Maybe you have a vacation lined up and there's maybe a few things happening. Number one, you might be worried about losing all your gains and all your fitness.
That was my concern.
Number two, you might be thinking to yourself, how am I going to even manage this? What should I do? And number three, maybe this will hopefully change your mind on this. Maybe number three is you're going on vacation. You're like, yes, like I don't have to work out, or I'm not going to work out. And hopefully we'll try to revert your mindset back into remembering why you should be working out and staying active during your holidays. So we'll maybe start with what we did on our vacation. We were, like we said, we went to Australia. Australia is very similar vibes to Canada, just with nicer weather, we'll say. So the economy itself is very similar. The infrastructure is very similar. So when we went to Australia, they had a CrossFit gym kind of close to us. And I mean, there's many CrossFit gyms in Australia, but because we're in a beach town, we had to do a little bit of driving outside. I think it was about a 25-minute drive, depending roughly.
I would say.
From where we're staying to the CrossFit gym. And then we had a we got a gym membership at like a regular Globo gym.
Anytime
it's called
Fitness.
Anytime Fitness, which is a big franchise gym. They're actually just starting to open up in Canada as well now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll start there. We'll talk about like what we did when we got here.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we do first whenever we've traveled in the past, whether we went like when we went to Miami on our honeymoon or when we go to Australia, is right away we look, okay, like where is the closest gym? Where's the closest CrossFit gym? Would be a perk because obviously we love CrossFit. But then, you know, if that's like a little bit less accessible, then where is the closest gym? And making sure that within those first few days, we go there and get ourselves a membership. So by giving ourselves like a casual membership, as they call it, or like a short-term membership, or buying like a punch card of classes, it's going to hold us accountable to making sure like we actually use them. Because if you're going to spend money on it, you better get your money's worth.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing is just doing a little bit of research. That's kind of the fun part about traveling is usually you research, okay, restaurants, or what are the excursions that I want to do, or what are the things I'm going to do when I'm going there. Even people who are backpacking and traveling through, like CrossFit is the biggest global gym franchise in the entire world. I don't think there's very many countries, let's just say, in the entire world that don't have a CrossFit gym. I think it might almost be close to every single country. So
I'm sure there's some, but
very little. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that like, if you go into,
it's accessible.
It's very accessible in terms of like where the CrossFit gyms are. You have to
especially if you're going somewhere that has like a major city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like where we go is like a really, really small town and they still have a CrossFit gym.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it has, I think CrossFit's almost 15,000 affiliates worldwide. You know, like that is a crazy amount of CrossFit gyms out there. And then that's just CrossFit alone. Then there's all the other gyms out there, the Globo gyms, you know? So regardless, you're probably within some area going to have access to a gym. And what I would recommend is just first doing the research, and then second, committing to it as soon as you go. If you're thinking like, oh, I'm not sure which one to go, I'm not, maybe I'll wait a few days. If you wait a few days, it's really hard to like get yourself out there. And that's just coming from personal experience.
100%.
What I would recommend is you do that instantly. And even on the first day that we got to Sydney, your dad and I went for a run. Like we were staying in a very hilly place. Like,
Sydney is just hilly.
Yeah, like what I've learned from Australia, spending a little bit more time in the city itself, is that it's very hilly everywhere you go. Like I guess it's a big island, but it's like very hilly. And anyway, so your dad and I went for a 6K run, I think it was like something like that. And it was super hilly. And anyways, we did that right away. And yeah, you're most likely going to feel like
shit.
Yeah,
especially
like trash,
the travel to Australia, it takes you a freaking day and a bit.
Yeah. So if there's any sort of time zone difference, or you're going to feel not as fit as normal, and that's okay, because that's not the goal. The goal is just to get moving right away, right? So, you know,
rip off the Band-Aid, because I feel like, you know what, that's something that you just sort of highlighted. But because you know you're not going to feel good because you're not well rested. Maybe you're in a different time zone. You've traveled. Food is different. Everything. So it's like, you know that you're not going to feel good. So then you're kind of deterred to want to work out because you're like, fuck, it's going to suck. Yeah. You kind of have to rip off the Band-Aid and get it out of the way, because that's the only way to make sure that the next time you get to a training session, you feel better. Like that first session is kind of like, you just got to go through it.
Yeah. You just have to do it. Like Susie said, rip off the Band-Aid, just get it done. But it's really important that you do that, because the longer you wait to do this, the less likely it is that you're actually going to work out and actually going to get out there.
Right.
So just,
especially if you have a short holiday.
Shoes on, research a gym, do something, but get active. Right away here.
There's no gym nearby. Like put your shoes on and go for like a run walk. Maybe running is like not your jam, but like run a minute, walk 2 minutes, run a minute, walk, whatever. Like go out, see the town wherever you're staying. Like just get moving.
Something that we mentioned a few episodes ago was we talked about that drop-in. You know, if you do see that there's a CrossFit gym around you, a lot of CrossFit gyms, let's say you're doing some backpacking or you're traveling a lot. Like, for example, we didn't get a gym membership the first 4 days we were there because we knew that we were only going to spend, I think it was 4 or 5 days, maybe 5 days actually, 4 or 5
Thursday to Monday. Yeah. 5 days.
So we only spent a few days in the city, so we didn't get a membership where we were. So we just resulted to running, right? We did the third
a park run.
Yeah, we did a couple runs, and then we did the park run, which is really cool. But that being said, if you know that you're going to be bouncing around a lot,
there's the gym in the condo building where we're
yeah.
staying.
And
so
then we did
that. But
yeah, exactly.
it was the worst gym ever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but we did do that. Yeah, but yeah, so there's the drop in some CrossFit gyms around the world. I would say many CrossFit gyms, you can potentially buy a t-shirt rather than buying a drop-in. So how cool is that? You'll walk out of there with a memory and a souvenir at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So just ripping off the Band-Aid is super, super important, and I would highly recommend that you just do that right away.
Yep. So first thing first, get moving. We're already starting the recaps, and Brandon is already rolling his eyes at me. It's just how I process, okay?
Yeah, process it out loud for the people.
That's the whole point of having a podcast, isn't it?
So first thing is not ripping off the Band-Aid, but first thing is doing your research.
Then ripping off the Band-Aid and getting moving.
Yeah.
And then...
I would maybe even to backtrack here, because I think we forgot one, is just packing for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's essential.
Yeah. So backtracking a little bit.
That's
so number
so important,
one,
actually.
doing research. Number two is just making sure
bring your gear.
Yeah, bring your gear. It doesn't have to be much. We didn't bring our knee sleeves and our weight belt, and we brought obviously like our shorts and whatever t-shirt that we want to.
I pretty much wear that anyways.
Yeah.
This is my day-to-day outfit.
So we just made sure we had some workout gear, depending on where you're traveling. Maybe you might need to do that. Maybe you might want your sports bra. Maybe you might want your workout underwear. Like, for example, I have different workout underwear, whatever that is. Just make sure you pack for that. This way you're ready to go. And then, so we brought our 2 training shoes. So we have running shoes and then training shoes. And then I just brought my grips, and we brought 1 rope,
which we didn't end up using.
Yeah, we didn't end up using it. Yeah,
but I did want to have it just in case.
Yeah, and even if you're like, well, that's kind of a lot, then just bring 1 pair of shoes.
Yeah. So last year I just brought running shoes.
Yeah,
because I could run in those, and I could do CrossFit. It's not ideal, but I could do CrossFit in those. But this year we were going for longer, so I was like, I kind of want to have my training shoes.
Yep.
But if I was going on like a 2-week trip, I'd probably just bring running shoes and use those for all the working out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're good for walking in.
So 1, research. 2, pack for it. And then 3, rip off the Band-Aid. You got to just find the place that you want to go to and just go to it.
Yeah. I think like also on that avenue is like, don't get too obsessed about doing the same thing. Like if where you're staying doesn't necessarily have a CrossFit gym, maybe you try just like a regular global gym and do some more, functional movements and use the machines. Or, if you're somebody who likes to do classes and there doesn't seem to be any like weightlifting classes, like, I don't know, try a boot camp class or go to a hot Pilates class or whatever. Do something out of your ordinary. Like, the activity doesn't need to be so structured like it normally is in your normal training routine. Yeah. The goal is just to be active, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be kind of like my second point here, is that like the routine that you have at home is going to be different than when you're traveling, right? So we did a variety of different training. We did
we only did CrossFit 5 times.
Yeah, we did CrossFit 5 times over
4 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, over like a 20-day span.
Yeah.
Right? Or less than that.
No, well, like our whole vacation was 26 days.
Yeah, but we did like 3 or 4 days of traveling. We were in Sydney for 4 days. So like in the period of time that we got our CrossFit membership where we were in Fingal, we had about 19 days, I think, something like that we're in that area. So we did only 5 CrossFit workouts in like a 19 to 20 day period. But we worked out almost every single day. We did a combination of running. We got a gym membership for 2 weeks at any time, where we did a little bit more bodybuilding stuff. But we made sure to do like physical that is not just like so one of the other things we'll talk about later is getting like just some movement in and just walking, right? But when I say exercise, I want to take it further than just, a lot of steps, a lot of walking. Like your heart rate should get up there and it should be pumping at high numbers, right?
Yeah, like walking is great, sweating, but it doesn't count as like your workout.
Exactly. Yeah. You should be sweating a lot. You should get to a point where your muscles are under like hard
Fatigue,
contractions
yeah.
and fatigue, and you're feeling some sort of like actual stress on them. So walking is a phenomenal thing to do, and that's pretty much what everyone says. Oh, I didn't work out, but I did a lot of walking. And it's like, okay, that walking
That's
is
great, yeah.
so good for you and so healthy for overall heart health, your body health, brain health. Like walking is a great thing, and we definitely want to get a lot of steps in, but we want to just add that extra little bit here. So
Yeah, even if it's like a hotel workout or something.
yeah. So I'll use like a few examples. Like for example, one of my client, Marissa, typically when she goes on these vacations, she asks for like these little like hotel workouts. You know, sometimes she'll go down south to like an all-inclusive resort.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't have great hotel gyms. So sometimes she'll just be like, hey, can I get like a 30-minute just like body weight workout?
Yeah,
in
you
my
can
hotel
do
room?
so much with so little if you are just a little resourceful about it.
Yeah. You know, body weight stuff is a great way to get some exercise in. You know, air squats, push-ups, burpees, sit-ups, bridges, like all those things. You can get a hell of a good workout just doing body weight stuff. You don't necessarily need to have the weights and the dumbbells and all that.
Yeah,
fun
like
stuff,
I mean,
right?
when we were in Sydney, we didn't have access to anything, but like on one of the days we did like a little like home workout, I guess, because the gym that we went in had an elliptical machine and a treadmill, which I mean doesn't make sense to me. Go run outside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it had a
like,
bench.
A bench, yeah.
So
And like the dumbbells. It had dumbbells, but it had para dumbbells? No, adjustable dumbbells?
It had one adjustable dumbbell that
adjustable.
went up to 7 kilos, which is just like what, 15 pounds?
Yeah, 15 pounds, yeah.
So anyways,
Susie was just doing like a little circuit.
but I just made myself like a little circuit of like push-ups, like body weight
Yeah.
split squats.
They had some
and-
like wonky donkey cable machine that I was trying to maneuver
Oh
just
my
to get
gosh.
some sort of
but
upper body
I got
pumping.
I made a little circuit of like 5 or 6 movements. I did 12 reps of everything, and I just went through it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
30 minutes in and out, and I felt like, okay, at least I like stimulated my muscles.
Yeah, so even if you can't go to a gym or can't find a gym, you know,
Yeah.
maybe you just don't have it in your itinerary for that day. Well, that's all right. Just 20-minute timer. Hey, I'm just going to do this 20-minute circuit where I'm going to do a few bodyweight exercises. I'm going to grab my backpack, maybe as a little bit of extra resistance. I'm going to throw it on my back, or I'm going to throw it maybe on my front of my body, or I'm going to bear hug it. You know, like there are many ways that you can get creative with resistance training, and that could just be just your body weight. So routine is not always going to be the same. You also, if we're talking about routine, it might not be your normal training schedule. Like maybe before, when you're at home, it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Like those are your 4 days that you work out.
Right.
But you traveled on Monday, so you didn't get your workout in on Monday, and now it's Tuesday. Do I not work out on Tuesday because Tuesdays I don't really work out? It's like, no, just
forget it.
Get
Work
the
out when
workout
you
in.
can.
Yeah, just get the workout in when you can. Don't wait and don't be like, oh yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow. It's like, hey, let's just get the workout in right now. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. I'm going to do whatever I can in this moment. I'm going to turn a timer on for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to get my heart rate up. I'm going to be sweaty. I'm breathing a little bit harder. I want to get my muscles under some contractions, right? And just do what you can, right? And going back to it, always just now better than later. Because if you push it later, it's going to get, oh shoot, there's this that happened, or oh, actually the travel took longer than I thought, or this excursion took longer than I thought, and now it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm back at wherever I'm staying.
Yeah,
I don't feel like working out.
I think you just hit into a point that I wanted to talk about as well, which is just you even though you're on vacation, you still have to make the time
Yeah, for sure.
for it. And I'll use my dad as an example. You know, we're in Australia, and Brandon and I weren't able to drive, or weren't supposed to be driving the car because it was rented under my parents' name.
Essentially,
So
like if we wanted to drive the car, it would have cost us like several $100s just to
Extra.
get
So
for
we
the
were-
insurance. Yeah.
we were like, okay, it's not worth it. So basically we were chauffeured everywhere by my parents.
Shout out to chauffeur
Papa Miller.
Papa Miller.
Anyway, so because of that, let's say we wanted to go to the CrossFit at 9:30 in the morning. That meant that my dad needed to drive us around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he would have to wake up extra early, let's say 6:30 a.m., so that he could get his run for the day done before driving us, because running after 12 p.m. in the heat of an Australian summer is like not realistic.
Yeah, one day he did 20K.
He woke up and did 24 kilometers before driving us across it, which is mental. But that's just an example of like, for him, it was important to like maintain his running and making sure he was continuing to train. He has some marathons coming up this year. And so instead of just waking up when he wanted and being like, oh, screw it, like I don't have time today, he made sure to wake up extra early to get it in so that he could enjoy the day and be like, at least like I've ticked the box of like my non-negotiable for the day and I'm able to do whatever. Same thing that happened with me. Like we were traveling with a baby and he doesn't sleep ever. Our child is not a good sleeper. Although he's sleeping right now. Anyways, so you know, one of the days he woke up at 5:30 and he wasn't going to go back to sleep. And I was like, okay, well, seize the day, Susie. I didn't want to wake up the whole house. So I was like, put that baby in the stroller and like, took him for a run. You kind of just have to make time for it and make the most of what you have like available to you. So if you have a whole beach day with your friends planned, then maybe you wake up like an hour earlier and put those running shoes on and get out the door so that you can enjoy the beach day with your friends and you're not feeling guilty like, hey, I didn't get my session in or whatever it is. Yeah,
I love that. Your mom did that for us a couple times as well, or would get her swimming in before.
Yeah.
It was really, actually, not just did your dad just drive us around and moved his schedule, but he also did that knowing how important it was for us to get our exercise in. So it's very like selfless for them to do that type of stuff for us because they just know how important it is for our life.
Yeah. They were like, I don't want to deal with Susie if she doesn't get a workout in. She's such a bitch.
So, you know, maybe having that conversation with whoever you're traveling with, you know, maybe they don't do CrossFit, but maybe they do some other form of activity. And don't be shy to jump into that type of stuff. Maybe, you know, we didn't do any surfing this time. We did a decent amount of boogie boarding though. Not as much as I would have liked, but we did some and that was cool. And now let me say the ocean was intense on one of those days.
Yeah. We went to a surf beach.
We went to a surf beach and it was a windy day and the waves were freaking hard. And it felt like I did an intense workout after that because you're enjoying the waves on the way in, but then you got to get out and like the waves are just constantly coming in.
I didn't go in the ocean once this whole trip.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you're not a big ocean person, huh?
I don't love the ocean. Yeah. I would have, like, if it wasn't for Thomas, like, I would have gone in for sure. If you and I were on a trip and we didn't have the baby and there was an ocean, I would go in for sure. Mm-hmm. But because he hated it so much, like, someone has to stay with the baby. So I just ended up staying with him because I didn't feel like I was missing out. But I'm just realizing now that I only went up to my, like, ankles in the ocean.
That's crazy, yeah.
I actually didn't swim once the whole vacation.
That's wild.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, take me back. But I did a ton of running. Yeah. A ton of running. Yeah, so good.
Yeah. So yeah, there's also other activities that go on in, like wherever you're going in the world. Check out park runs. Park runs are a global event. Best. Absolutely free. Every Saturday in the world, wherever you are.
Typically between 8 or 9 a.m. to start time. Yeah. Depending on
Australia,
where you are.
It's 8 a.m. because it's typically hotter and warmer in the later morning.
And in England or Europe, it's usually 9 a.m.
Usually 9 a.m. Yeah. We have one here in Montreal that I think is at 9:30. 9:30 here. So yeah, it's kind of around that 8 to 9 o'clock start time. But
every
just check
Saturday.
It out. Every Saturday. Every single Saturday.
And it's a 5K and it's just for fun.
And it's free.
And it's completely free. And like, it's not a race at all. Like they really make it, it's not about racing. It's really about like just showing up and doing it. There's always like a person at the end, a volunteer at the end. So it's impossible to come last.
Yeah. So there's the volunteers all wear like these colored,
pinnies. What do you call them?
Pinnies. Yeah. These little colored vests. And no one can finish last because one of the volunteers who wears a yellow vest is
usually they're in pairs at the end.
Yeah.
And
they always go at the very, very end.
Last.
So like your mom and Kathy did a push with Tommy.
Yeah, they were kind of walking with Thomas in the stroller and they didn't come last.
They didn't come last, yeah. So people walk their dogs, people bring their kids and walk/run with their kids. It's a really, really cool vibe.
It's fun for the whole family.
The first park run we did was the first Saturday. We did it in at a university, which was really cool.
Yeah, Macquarie University in Sydney.
And we were 585 people, which is crazy.
That was my first run in like over a year too, which is crazy.
And then the second, third and fourth we did at Fingal, which was really cool. The second, there was 180 something. The second one, there was more. There was 280 something. And then the last one, where there's
and this is like a teeny weeny town. So the fact that it's like drawing in so many people, it's just so cool.
It's unfortunate that there's not like parkrun isn't bigger here in Canada. I guess it's because of the weather. But yeah, so there's activity events going on in the world. I mean, we didn't do any surfing this time, but finding maybe a surf lesson over there is a great source of activity. Really hard on your muscles. Will definitely get your breathing up.
And it's like an experience.
A lot of people like to ski or snowboard and stuff. So for my winter athletes, get out there and enjoy that. If you're traveling somewhere snowy,
on vacation to somewhere that's winter, I have questions for you.
Well, typically people would...
I just don't get it. But I think it's because we live somewhere where there's winter.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so finding actual activities, physical activities while you're traveling is a good way to stay active while also not thinking of it like it's an activity.
Yeah, I think it's, I think it's hard to frame it or understand how to frame it to the person. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going on vacation, I'm not going to work out. Like that's a very common thing that we hear. And I find it hard to like resonate or like understand that, because for me, like I get nervous about not working out when we go on vacation. I'm like, we need to find a gym and we need to like make sure we keep moving. We need to keep our fitness up, especially at the moment. I feel like I'm really starting to feel like fit again. So I have like almost like I don't want to feel unfit. Like I don't want to lose the momentum that I have. Yeah. But I know that it's super common. Like even people say to us, like, you're on vacation. Like, why are you going to work out? Or I'm going on vacation. So I go on vacation so I don't have to work out. And I don't know what to say to people like that.
That's because they haven't bought into the lifestyle. And
they don't live it. You're right.
The lifestyle is physical activity, right? Like we have a mindset, and that's good for the listeners now to know that, is that we don't go to the gym just to say we're going to the gym. We go to the gym because we know that it's super important for our life. It's really important for our body, our mind, our emotions. And we
love it. Like I genuinely love it.
Yeah, we really love it. What we don't love is when we stop going to the gym, actually, right?
Yeah, because when you stop and then you try and start again, it's super hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do understand that hard feeling that people are fearful of. But
and that's why
when people say they need a vacation from working out, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
And that's also why it's important to rip the Band-Aid off right away, because it's very easy to get into that, I'm not going to work out today. I'm not. And then
it spirals.
Next thing you know, it's like you've gone a whole week and you're like, shit, I didn't get any workout in on my vacation. And I'm guilty of that in the past. And I'm sure some of the listeners will probably think that. And then they get back to that feeling of working out. They're like, oh shit, you're right. It was pretty painful. But also there's just your body feels really good when you exercise. So I remember when I was exercising on vacation, I felt so much better.
Oh my gosh, now, yeah, because we weren't eating the same.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about food in a second here, but just getting that workout in, you feel like your muscles are like tighter, like you feel like a sense of accomplishment, like like I got a workout in, now I can like conquer the day, like what's next, so there's this really good feeling of exercising, and also getting out of your comfort zone. You're not going to the gym that you go to builds confidence every day, like even I felt like just going back to the CrossFit Max after being a month away,
felt like coming home,
but it felt weird. I was like, I don't feel like
I also felt nervous, awkward. I'm so glad you said that, because I felt so awkward today, and I was like, am I awkward?
But it was fun to just be
But how good did it feel to use our barbells and our plates?
Yeah, it was really cool. Oh my
God. I feel like anybody who has only done CrossFit at CrossFit Max, they just like don't have the same appreciation for how freaking nice our equipment is, because you go to any other CrossFit gym and you're probably not going to have the same caliber of like gorgeous road equipment. Yeah. And let me tell you, using our barbell today and using our plates today, my soul is so happy. Yeah. It's like going from like using a unicycle to a freaking motorcycle. That's what it felt like. Some of the gear that we used in the gyms that we were at over the last month, I'm like, this is despicable.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about nutrition to end it there.
Oh my God. I feel like we could do a whole episode on that.
Probably
so
could,
I'm going to
yeah.
rein you in a little bit and just get to the points, because Brandon loves to talk about this nutrition topic.
Yeah, so it's vacation. You got to enjoy yourself, right?
100%.
You can't be too hard on yourself. You just got to try to remember some sort of balance. And maybe the balance at home is an 80-20 balance, or maybe a 90-10 balance, depending on how strict you are with your nutrition. But when you're on vacation, you have to indulge a little bit. You're going to have a few extra desserts. You're going to have a few extra snacks. You're going to have a few extra maccas.
Yeah, as they would call them mochas here in Canada, but in Australia they call it maca.
Maca. Those macas. I'm going to miss them.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God,
you're
so
going to
good.
enjoy like little extra things here and there.
For sure.
But just remember, it's a lifestyle. We preach a lifestyle here, right? We're not doing this to lose 5 pounds. We're doing this to
Live
be
forever.
healthy, to
Well,
live
not ever,
forever, to live long and healthy and independent.
Yes.
And yeah, so like nutrition doesn't have to be on it, but you do have to remember that there is some sort of balance. And what I like to remind myself is just finding protein, like just getting
100%.
protein in,
I was just going to say that's
And
the
then-
best way.
And then the second thing is just trying to find a vegetable. Like just get, if you could do
Protein
that for
and veg.
most of your
Yeah.
meals, if you could just get some protein source, because it's very easy on vacation just to go full on carbs or high fats, right? Because there's a lot of accessible, delicious stuff when you're on vacation. So just making sure that you can get protein as much as you can along the way or at every single meal.
Right.
And then at the very least, just making sure you have some sort of veg or even like a fruit for a little bit of micronutrients. It's funny, the first day we landed in Sydney, we went to a mall. I can't remember why. I think, did your parents have to do something?
We were meeting Kathy for lunch. Oh no,
Yeah.
they had a tax meeting
Oh yeah, they had an important meeting
with the bank.
with the bank. And so we were in the mall and we're like, oh, there's a cool supplement store there. And we just like bought protein powder. We got some greens. We got some collagen. Like we just
loaded up on
Yeah.
supplements on day one, which was such a good move because I loved having that.
yeah, I loved it. But it's not something you have to do when you're on vacation.
Most people wouldn't do that,
to
and I wouldn't
go
recommend that.
Yeah, go and get supplements. But we were there and we're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Oh my God, that passion fruit collagen powder that I had every day was so good. I miss it already.
Like if you're staying in a place for a long period of time, that could be something that you look into. I thought I'm like a kid in a candy shop.
My
when I go
nails
to a
are
supplement
so
store.
healthy, and I'm sure it's the collagen that I was taking.
And it was a passion fruit flavor. It was delicious.
So good.
It's always fun to see different supplements in different countries as well. Like the protein we got was a protein, carb,
Creatine.
and creatine in it. Yeah. So I didn't have
Love
to
creatine.
I didn't have to take any or buy any creatine supplement. I was just getting it through that. But anyways, you're on vacation, you're enjoying your foods, just simply look for a protein, look for a veg or a fruit and get it in there. The rest is just simply enjoy yourself. You don't have to eat like an asshole. You don't have to stuff your belly every single night or every single meal.
Yeah,
just
I think
eat until you're satisfied, not until you're full.
I think that like a toxic trait that I used to have and still sort of have is that like when I go to a restaurant, like I want to treat myself.
Yeah.
But when you're traveling or when you're on vacation, you tend to go to more restaurants.
Yeah.
It's okay to order something that's not like the coolest thing on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's okay to order just like eggs and bacon, let's say, for breakfast instead of getting like the cool pancakes with the syrup and the whatever. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like sometimes when you go to a restaurant, whether it's actually like just a regular restaurant on the weekend with your friends or whether you're traveling and you're going out to eat a lot, I feel like sometimes you just want to get the like most epic thing on the menu, but you can just order like a simple meal.
Yeah. Yeah. Susie's saying pancakes because there was this really cool cafe
I
next
can't
to where
believe
we're
I
staying.
never ordered those pancakes. I'm devastated.
Your dad was getting the pancakes and, like we said, Alan's an endurance runner, so he's running 20,
What did
24K.
you get, like an octopus salad or
Yeah,
something?
he got these pancakes and they did not look like pancakes.
They look like cakes. Oh my God. I actually think that's a regret that I didn't get those pancakes ever.
We should have shared them one time, but next year maybe. Anyway, so he got that a couple times and I was getting I got this squid salad.
No, it was octopus.
No, it was squid. Yeah, it was squid. Spicy squid. It was delicious. It wasn't octopus. It was squid.
Okay.
It was like calamari, but
Okay.
but without the fried.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
It was definitely octopus.
It wasn't octopus.
It was.
It was squid. It was
Okay.
I'm
I'm gonna get my parents to send me a photo of the menu.
Oh, you wait, podcast listeners. It's coming up on next episode.
Next episode, everyone's gonna find out that you lied. Brandon's a liar.
So, would you do fried octopus like calamari
Yeah.
with octopus?
Yes. Yes, you would. Why are you looking at? I
thought-
cannot wait to have this fight again next week. I'm already excited. I'm calling in mom and dad to
Anyways,
get the facts.
I
Anyways,
got
Brandon had an
this like
octopus salad.
healthy barbecue. It was this healthy salad that had it was like mixed greens, arugula,
Potentially squid, potentially octopus. TBD.
There was like strawberries. There was pomegranate as well, which was delicious.
There was
Anyways,
blueberries. I remember there
some
being
blueberries in
blueberries.
there. It was a really healthy salad, and then I got some grilled squid,
So he says.
and yeah, so it's like
You're eating
the
that.
contrary of like eating Alan's meal
I had
versus that.
asparagus and pea fritters, so I was like kind of in between
Yeah, and they were delicious. I had them another time, and they were good.
when
but
you went with my mom without me.
yeah, little
Date with Mel Miller.
Yeah. So when you're going, like Susie said, when you're going to a restaurant, which that typically happens way more often when you're traveling
100%,
because you're
yeah.
typically not in your own environment.
And you also kind of have like a fuck it mentality because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
try to just be like, try to make some healthy decisions along the way instead of just getting like the most unhealthy, carb loaded, heavy plate possible and feeling like you're stuffed and you have all the
Yeah.
regrets.
But like, if you know, one of the days you just want to lean in and get something like that, do it, enjoy it, experience what that city has to offer. A great way of experiencing cultures is through food.
Yeah.
But it's just like being
Yeah, I had
mindful that you don't need to get the grossest thing on the menu every time. And mostly I'm saying that so that I can hear it myself because that's me. I'm like, what is the most epic thing on the menu? What is going to make me need to roll out of the restaurant? I want that.
Yeah. And I had my fair share of chicken parmies over there.
Yeah.
But,
so good.
But yeah, so you have to understand that balance is still in play. Maybe the percent changes slightly, but just try to make more healthy, conscious decisions
Or like-
than not.
We had a super sweet Valentine's Day date planned by
Yeah.
Brandon himself at this really cool restaurant called Sunset and Vine in a vineyard, like up on a hill. Anyways, very romantic, very well done, honey. But, you know, we chose to
Patted
drink
myself on the
wine
shoulder.
and skip out on dessert.
Yeah.
So it's like you can like have one thing and then leave something else behind, or maybe like if you're like dreaming of this dessert, maybe instead of having 2 glasses of wine, you just have fizzy water,
Yeah.
you know, something like that, you know. There are ways to just save a little bit of health in every sort of situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. So if you guys got a vacation planned, take these notes.
Take notes.
You gotta exercise right away. So rip off the Band-Aid.
Oh, are you doing a recap right now?
Doing a recap. Actually, before we even get to the exercise of the Band-Aid.
We got to pack for it.
Pre-travel, pre-going to
gotta
wherever
pack and
you're
plan.
going. Got to pack and plan. Then you got to rip off the Band-Aid and get moving somewhere,
Like
somehow.
immediately.
Do
Do
it
not
right
even
away.
think about it.
Yeah.
Like if you spend too much time thinking about it, you won't do it.
Yeah. I forgot to also mention there's several clients that we've had that have like in the typical travel vacation thing that people in Canada or Montreal will do is go down
South, somewhere hot.
South, somewhere hot to like an all-inclusive hotel for 7 days. And that's very common here where people go to Dominican Republic or Mexico
And they just
or
beach it
Cuba
up.
and they just beach it up. And most of those hotels come with a
gyms.
gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
some better than others. Some like quite recently over the last couple of years, I would say probably since COVID, these hotels have probably put in a little bit more work to get more people over there.
Yeah.
And some of these gyms are quite beefy. Like they are
Beefy. Oh, what
they
a
got,
word.
They got some pretty cool
Scandalous.
machines. Yeah, they got cool
Beefy.
machines. Cool, like they'll have like functional training sections in their gyms now
Okay.
with turf and stuff. So most of these hotels and stuff will already have really good gyms. So make sure you get to those. Make sure you get to those gyms, even if you're traveling for work. right? In between those like dead periods, like try to find whatever gym is local there and just get to working out, guys. You'll feel better. It doesn't have to be the perfect workout. It doesn't have to be the hardest workout. It just showing up there and doing something is going to be better than nothing.
Right.
And you're going to enjoy your vacation way more after that.
100%.
I promise you. You're going to get better sleep. You're going to be in a much better mood, as good of a mood as you can be on vacation. I promise you, it actually gets even better than that mood after doing activity.
I also think there's like this sneaky, also just you're going to level up in your overall like lifestyle and fitness mentality when you accomplish maintaining some sort of fitness regime while you're away. Because then it really like downloads the code in your brain of like you are a healthy, fit person.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's also just like a secret benefit. It just like fulfills that identity that you hopefully are trying to create for yourself as like somebody who is health conscious and lives a healthy lifestyle, because you're proving to yourself by going and getting a gym membership or trying a gym or running or doing something on vacation. You're like proving to yourself that you are that healthy, fit person.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's much easier to come back into.
100%. Yeah. Then when you get back, you're like, okay, like me and Brandon, we landed last night and we've already hit a workout and we're recording this on Monday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Intense 48 hours for sure. But yeah. So to cap it off, because we just got back and we don't have a client of the week, I'd like to discuss.
We don't want our baby to wake up.
I'd love to discuss a fun memory while we were traveling. And that was receiving a couple workout videos from two of our clients. That was Nicole and Sasha.
Cutie pies.
I really enjoyed that. Nicole was doing her Lift Lab Olympic lifting workout.
Yeah,
sick. And she was sending me some of her videos of her clean and jerk. And she's really been practicing her split jerk specifically, because split jerk is not something that we put into the group class.
I'm not confident at all. I think I've maybe done that movement once in my life.
It's such a high skill movement that I don't see the benefit of putting it into a group class.
100%. I totally see that.
There's so many like press, like
I just really want to do the lift
push
lab.
press, barbell push jerk, all those variations with dumbbell. Like it's
already hard enough. Yeah.
There's already so many different variations. Like to add this split jerk in there for a group, for a general physical population, like, or general fitness programming, like, I don't know. I'm biased on that. I don't think it should be in there. But if you're doing an Olympic program, i.e. our Lift Lab, then you have to do it. And so I was getting, Nicole was sending me videos and she's gotten like really cool. I'm excited. I'm going to be coaching the Lift Lab again tomorrow for the first time in a month. And it's crazy. It's going to be really fun to see the progression of athletes. They're now on week 7 of 12 in their Lift Lab. And anyways, Nicole was sending me these videos and I was giving her little coaching cues by message.
Oh my
and
gosh.
then she would do it again. And I was like, yeah,
awesome
that was really good. Now we got to work on this. And then Sasha was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I was like, while you're working with Nicole, here's some of my videos. And then she was sending it. And I was like, okay, Sasha, like, this is awesome. Like work on like this part. And then she was sending, she's like, this one was off balance, but my second rep was better.
Okay. So, I'm just going to say one thing because I love this so much, but because I need to protect our household peace, you don't everybody just start sending Brandon videos for coaching tips 24/7 because that was just a one-time thing while we were on vacation. To get coached by him, you can get a CrossFit Max membership and come inside the gym because I love my husband and I want to spend time with him. And so if you're messaging me in your videos, I don't get to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was
so cool. I don't want to take away from the fact that is so cool.
It was a fun moment. And I did request them I requested Nicole because she asked for the Olympic lifting program. Usually it comes out on Tuesdays because the Tuesday is the Lift Lab in-person session.
Right. She wasn't able to make it.
She requested it to be on Monday. So I was like, oh, yeah, no problem. So, and there was a glitch. It was already programmed, but it didn't actually get access to their...
There's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah. So, so I literally just sent her the workout and I was like, send me some videos of your jerk. I want to see how you're doing. And then she sent it to me. Yeah. So like Susie said, people aren't sending me
I don't want people to hear you say, oh, that was so cool. And then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he loves it.
I also didn't want Nicole to feel like she shouldn't have sent me that videos because I was the one that requested it from her. But
and that was like a special, unique situation. I just don't want other people to take that and run with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was really cool. Anyway, so Sasha was sending me her videos, and I was giving them both cues, and they were both like really working hard. And
that's so fun.
Yeah, it was a fun, really fun memory in that trip. So yeah,
well done.
Well done, everyone.
Keep at it, people.
We're
Can't wait
excited.
to keep up the podcast.
Can't wait to keep up the podcast. I'm excited to hit episode 100 really soon.
Hopefully
We'll-
not this one.
We'll hit you with the 100 episode, and we'll let you know. I think we'll just call it the 100 episode, and we'll just talk about everything that's gone on for the last 100 episodes.
Oh my God, we love a recap.
We'll do a recap.
We love a
Oh
recap.
my god!
Oh my God.
This day
I'm
just
already
got
excited.
better.
I'm already so excited. Like, should we recap from like day one of opening CrossFit Max?
Yes. We should.
Okay, great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I'll start planning.
So we'll do
Just
100
kidding, we don't plan
episodes
these.
for you guys. Maybe we'll find a giveaway to do in our 100th episode.
I love a giveaway.
I love a giveaway.
I love a
too.
giveaway more than I love a recap. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys got a vacation planned. Hopefully you guys are going to take some of this
Especially
stuff
if you're in
with you.
Montreal right now because boo,
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.
Bye.